chapter, I mean, not another point of, setting yourself free, recovery. Another point for recovery is take a break. So if you know you have been abused, either in the church or in the family or at work, take a break. Part of the sickness of spiritual abuse is that it builds an unhealthy dependence on a person or a church rather than a dependence on God. Now, that is a major problem. The abusive system in Nigeria church is that they make you to depend on church. They make you to think church is your salvation. They make you to think that it is church that will take you to heaven. They make you to almost think that church is the same thing as the kingdom of heaven. So they make you to feel that you cannot do without church, that you must always go to church, you must belong to a church, you must be a member somewhere. So if you are not, they make you to feel sick, to feel like you are not a Christian, to feel condemned, to feel brainwashed. That is what we call brainwashed. You don't have to belong to a church. There is no membership of a church in the Bible. You don't have to be a member of any church. You should only go to where you are welcomed. You should only go to where you are celebrated. But in Nigeria, people go and put church above your personal relationship with God. So people who go to churches in Nigeria, they are more attached to church. They see church rather than seeing God. So church is where they go to worship God. And that is already an abuse, because you cannot go to church to see God or to worship God. God is with you every day, in your house, in your home, everywhere. So that is the problem these people create, the abusive environment. They make you to be dependent on church. They make you to think that you must go to church. So you are attached to church rather than being attached to God. Another thing they do is that they make you to be attached to a man, the man of God. So they make you to, to see the man of God, to feel like you need the man of God. So there are people in Nigeria now that cannot travel unless they go to a certain pastor to pray for them, or a certain prophet to pray for them, or a certain mountain to pray. All kind of brainwashing, fear. They have just crippled people with fear. So people now want to go, anything they want to go, they want to do, they must go to a man of God somewhere. But they have forgotten that they have their own personal relationship with God. Everybody must develop their own personal relationship with God. You don't need any man to interact with your father. It is your father just as well as it is the father of that pastor. So this is a big problem with spiritual abuse, because it makes people, it's an healthy dependence on a person. That is the pastor, the GO. Whenever the church is making you to see the GO, to pay attention to GO, to depend on GO, that's a problem. And then, or the church, rather than depend on God directly. I remember in the 70s,